Depending on the time of year, Saturday mornings look a little bit different to me. During the winter and early spring, Saturday mornings tend to be when I get up and start prepping food. Whether it's prepping my starter, getting potatoes going for dinner later, making yogurt, making teas for later in the week, it's all about what can I get accomplished in the morning. Then usually in the afternoon, we'll go out for a run when it warms up. But Saturday mornings are for me to get some kitchen witching done. Today at Witch Hollow Homestead, I'm going to show you what I'm getting started this morning. The first thing I'm doing is feeding my sourdough starter. I took that out of the fridge and I am going to feed it enough so that later tonight I can get dinner rolls going so that we have dinner rolls tomorrow night for dinner. Sourdough baking does take some planning, but once you get used to it, it's kind of hard to go back. Just this past week, I decided I was going to make regular yeasted hamburger buns. And I really struggled for a moment to figure out when I had to start the dough, how long it had to sit for, and then when I needed to bake it, because I've kind of got so used to this sourdough rhythm that it threw me for a loop. But they came out beautifully. The next thing that I wanted to do was start my potatoes chitting. I'm going to be planting potatoes again this year in our garden. They were a huge success last year. I actually wish I would have planted more. I planted enough that we got 40 pounds of potatoes. So this year I'm aiming for at least 100 pounds of potatoes, if not more, because we go through potatoes a lot. One thing I want to comment on here is I have never grown sweet potatoes. I have only grown Yukon Gold and russet potatoes. So I assumed that Japanese sweet potatoes were going to be the exact same as my other potatoes. They're actually not. You have to start them in a very different manner than you do the russet or the Yukon Gold potatoes. So don't start your Japanese sweet potatoes, or any sweet potatoes for that matter, the way you see me doing them here. That's wrong. But the russet and the Yukon Gold are correct. Lesson learned. This is what's so awesome about gardening, is that you learn from your mistakes. Something that I have posted about a lot between Instagram and I think I even posted a short on YouTube is this beautiful purple infusion that I drink every day. I have some perimenopause symptoms and I was looking up different things I could do to help mitigate or lessen those symptoms. And one of them is actually using butterfly pea flowers along with lavender. So I came up with this infusion. I've been drinking it for about 2 months now. I have noticed a difference, and I actually just find it really relaxing. It's very calming to drink. It's very earthy, but it also has a bright taste to it. I do add some additions to it. I add dehydrated strawberries. These are strawberries that we harvested last summer that I dehydrated. And then I like to add 2 whole lemons in there. Lemons are so good for digestion, and I notice that if I have lemon water every day along with some lime water, it helps with any kind of stomach aches I might get and kind of keeps my stomach all nice and balanced. So I like to add that in here. I already added my strawberries. Now I'm adding a small handful of butterfly pea flowers. Then I'm also going to add a small handful of lavender. Just remember when you add lavender that it is a very, very strong flower. So you don't want to overdo it. But make sure you also add enough so that you can taste it. And then the last thing I'm going to add are the 2 sliced lemons. This batch is going to make 4 1-quart size jars. We're going to add boiling water to this infusion. So while I'm waiting for the water to boil, I am chopping up potatoes, carrots, and celery so that I can make potato salad to go with our dinner later tonight. My water has boiled. Now I'm going to add it into my pitcher, and I'm going to be adding a little over 6 cups. I'm going to then put a lid on it, and the reason you want to put a lid on it is because obviously you have all that steam that'll come off, and you can lose some of your medicinal properties with the steam that's coming off. So I like to put a lid on it and let it sit covered for 20 minutes while it slowly cools down. I'm going to just speed this up a little bit. Look at the color of our infusion change so rapidly in front of our eyes. It's always so beautiful. It's been 20 minutes and the infusion is ready. Look at the deep purple coloring. It is so beautiful. Keep in mind, if you make this, it may not come out this color. It might come out a little blue. And that is because I add dehydrated strawberries to mine. You can also use fresh strawberries. And when you add those, that will change the coloring a bit. I could wait until this infusion fully cools down, but I like to do it when it's still relatively hot, and that is because I'm going to put honey in it, and it allows the honey to dissolve quickly. So I put on a kitchen glove in order to do this because the fruit and everything in it is very, very hot to have to wring out. But I strain it, wring it out, and then I will add honey. You can opt to not add any sweetener here, or you can choose to put in any sweetener that you like to use. I prefer using honey. That's just what I like. I'm going to divide the infusion in between 4 1-quart size jars. And while I do it, I am going to use the strainer since there are still going to be some particles left in from the lavender. Now I'm going to take those mason jars and I am going to fill them up to the top with filtered water. Put a lid on them and then place them in the refrigerator. If you give this infusion a try, please comment below and let me know what you think. What are your favorite infusions? What do you like to make? Let me know. Thank you for joining me this Saturday at Witch Hollow Homesteading. I will post another video like this during the summer so that you can see how my Saturdays change. If you have any questions or comments, you can comment below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Witch Hollow Homesteading, where I post several reels a week with quick, easy recipes. Happy homesteading!